Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some individual stocks now. We want to get under the hood and what's on the move today. I'm Caroline Hyde. We are joined by Bloomberg Television Markets correspondent Nora Melinda. Nora, take it away. We've got three really interesting stocks and Novo Nordisk. Wow, we are all into tablets rather than shots.
Oh, clearly, people are really interested in this oral pill that we know Novo Nordisk just got approval in the U.S. for this the pill version of its obesity shot, Wegovy. This is really great news for Novo Nordisk, especially as we think about it in comparison to Eli Lilly, its competitor. They essentially expect to get approval for their version of their oral pill by March. So we've got Novo Nordisk, ticker NVO, in ahead of Eli Lilly here. But I mean, it really is a stock that's been struggling. I'm taking a look at shares of Novo Nordisk on a year-to-date basis, down 41%. So I think that this is really a strong, important moment for this company, and you're definitely seeing shares, clearly investors are liking this. Shares are up as much as 11%. That's the biggest jump we've seen on a single-day basis since January for the stock.
Wow. And then we think about elsewhere in the landscape of the consumer and healthcare, Johnson & Johnson, when you're looking at.
Johnson & Johnson, ticker J&J. It's down for a different reason. We are seeing shares falling as much as 2%. This is after the company was ordered to pay about $1.56 billion to a Maryland woman. Essentially, she blamed the company's talc-based baby powder for causing asbestos-linked cancer. So jurors did find this in for the woman. They did see 2 units of its staff and the spinoff Kenvue of J&J. They were liable for failing to warn this woman about the fact that there was the baby powder was tainted with asbestos. So we are seeing shares that are down, reacting just a touch, down about 0.9% right now as we speak.
Wow, that legal hangover has been long time for J&J. There is, surprisingly, as we tie up this year, a little bit of M&A going on. ServiceNow, biggest acquisition ever.
Right, and on a Tuesday, we are seeing this on a Tuesday. We saw that they did reach a deal to buy cybersecurity startup Armis. This is a deal that's valued at about $7.75 billion. We know ServiceNow is an IT management company. We are seeing this representing its largest acquisition to date, as you did call out here. ServiceNow will pay in cash for this deal for Armis, and it expects to fund the transaction through a combo of cash on hand as well as debt. So we're looking at shares that are down as much as 2.9% on the day. That's ticker NOW. This deal is expected to close in the second half of 2026, Caroline.
Yeah, interesting that Bloomberg had actually been there with the scoop last week about Armis, and really yet another success story for Israel. An Israeli group had been ex-military, really doing a lot of cyber work over there, and then building out this incredibly successful cyber company. But all of these platforms need to make big acquisitions in the world of cyber. If you're getting into agentic AI, we just think about the huge deal that was with Wiz and Google. It's like a trend there.
Certainly. And I've been looking at the share action for ServiceNow in particular. It really has been struggling over the past couple of weeks, down about 10% over the past 2 weeks. So this is just an addition, clearly, to the overhang that we've been seeing for this company in particular.
Meanwhile, no overhang on the stocks more broadly, and you're seeing S&P 500 at a new record high more broadly, and we're seeing people starting to pile on the trades that have worked all year.
Right. It's so funny. We've been talking so much about the Santa Claus rally and whether or not we're seeing that heading into year end, but it's also really interesting the fact that we're seeing these double-digit returns for the major indexes, both the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and if you think about this beginning of this year, end of last year, it seems as though we're in a place where it's not necessarily what the bulls were expecting, but it wasn't what the bears were expecting either. But it's really been an interesting year, and you're certainly seeing clearly a lot of optimism in the market so far as we end the year about double-digit returns higher.
Even though maybe we pull off some views whether the Fed will be cutting as much next year, with the economic growth going really rather more resiliently than many anticipated.
Absolutely. And another thing that I've been thinking about so much of this year is tariffs. I feel like I haven't heard the word so much in recent weeks, but that's something that I've certainly been reflecting on, especially as I talked to sources as well about tariffs. We've been having geopolitical concerns. There's been so much that's gone on this year. So it's interesting to still see us eking out such a strong gain to end the year.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.